Hello and welcome back to my reaction to the documentary Murder in Paradise. This video is part 7 and it covers about 5 minutes from the 29-minute mark with some commentary from me.
December 2014. Zorlin and Wei Pio are charged with murder and rape. The judge adjourns the case until the summer. As New Year breaks, more suspicious deaths on Koh Tao. Frenchman Dimitri Pobbs is found hanged in his bungalow. The police conclude it's suicide, but his hands are tied behind his back, raising doubts about how he could have killed himself. 3 weeks later, British tourist Christina Annesley is found dead in her hotel room.
I'll pause it just there for a moment. One thing which the documentary doesn't mention is that the hotel where she had been staying was actually owned by Mon, or Montrewat, and also they don't mention that apparently she had been a journalism student. So you can imagine that if a journalism student had been asking a few tricky questions, that's not the sort of thing that would endear her to some of the locals.
Again, it's on Syri Beach. Again, the Thai police are criticised. Christina had just started a 4-month trip around Asia.
We were starting to get worried and we were sending her texts and asking her friends if they heard from her. I thought, what do we do now? And I came home from work and the police had been waiting for us. As soon as they knocked on the door, Maggie just sort of collapsed hysterically.
Christina's father does not know how or why his daughter died. On the night of her death, she had been taking some medication for a chest infection and had been drinking. But her father is frustrated. He feels the Thai authorities failed to investigate if the combination of medicine and alcohol was sufficient to kill her.
No toxicology report. We can't understand how she could have died. The lack of investigation by the Thai police, the lack of even worrying about following things through, astounds me.
The most glaring issue for her father is that the police did not interview the last man to see his daughter alive. At around 6 a.m., a man was seen on CCTV leaving her room. The police knew his identity, but failed to contact him. So Christina's dad tracked him down himself.
His name was in the Thai police report, so that further astounds me because they managed to identify him. They know he left the island 6 hours after her death. He was due to go, so there's nothing suspicious about that. That was the time he was due to check out. So if they found out his name, his nationality, where he stayed, they would have the address. Why they couldn't contact him just to eliminate him or to get some information off him, to me, beggars belief. Now, how we found him was because we had the name. It was a simple affair of going on the internet, typing his name in, he comes up on Facebook, and there you are. And we managed to get a phone number, and I actually ran and spoke to him.
What was it like to pick up the phone to the last person to see your daughter?
A bit emotional. Yeah, because we probably, excuse me, yeah, we would have liked to have been the last people. But on talking to him, he seemed quite straightforward.
I'll just pause there for a moment. I thought that was a very good interview and it added a lot to the documentary. A few additional points of note relate to some subsequent deaths. There was a Bernd Grotsch, a German businessman who died on Koh Tao a few months ago, and there's been no autopsy report handed to his family in Germany, to the very best of my knowledge, and I do keep my finger on the pulse in relation to all of these matters. And also there was the young lady Elise Dalimagna. She was the one who had been partially eaten by large lizards on Koh Tao, and there was no final autopsy report given to her mother in Belgium. So it's quite common actually for there to be a failure of autopsy reports to be provided, failure of toxicology reports. And in fact, one of the things which happened with the young man Ben Harrington, who died on the 30th of August 2012, is that as soon as he died, the police were very keen to have his body cremated. His mother, Pat, was strongly against having the body cremated, and surprise, surprise, when his body came back to England, the autopsy report in England was vastly different to the police report and the reported injuries that had been on the police file.
The Thai police say they only have limited resources on Koh Tao, which is a long way from the mainland. The string of deaths do nothing for the island's reputation. Koh Tao is struggling to maintain its image as a holiday paradise. But the mayor says many of the tourists who have died are responsible for their own downfall.
I'll let you make your own mind up about what you think about the mayor's comments, but I could euphemistically say that they come across as being somewhat insensitive, and he's talking about tourists who might drink too much or might misbehave without relating them to the particular deaths that are the subject of this documentary. So it comes across that the mayor is making a lot of comments that are quite irrelevant, and he's very much getting involved in victim blaming, and he comes across as being somewhat callous.
การที่เขาปลดปล่อยเนี่ยอย่างเช่นอย่างประเทศไทยเนี่ยเราไม่ได้มีความตั้งแต่เครื่องไม้เครื่องมือเรายังเป็นโลโก้อยู่นะเขาเข้ามาเขาต้องเรียนรู้วิถีก่อนไม่ใช่เขามาถึงใช้ชีวิตอย่างที่เขาใช้ในเมืองบ้านเขาเมืองเขาซึ่งพอเขาใช้ชีวิตสุดขั้วอย่างเงี้ยคือมันทำให้เกิดอุบัติเหตุและอันตรายง่ายขึ้นแค่นั้นเองคืออย่างเช่นหลายอย่างกินยาเกินขนาดอย่างเงี้ยขับรถมอเตอร์ไซค์เร็วจนเกิดอันตรายอุบัติเหตุอย่างดำน้ำโดยที่ไม่ได้ระวังนะครับแล้วก็คือต้องบอกว่าหลายเป็นมิติของชีวิตทั่วไปแต่ส่วนใหญ่เจอเป็นฝรั่งเมาโดยที่ไม่รู้สึกตัวเมาแล้วก็จำอะไรไม่ได้เนี่ย
I thought that interview with the mayor was quite enlightening, actually. The documentary makers have highlighted the problems that tourists and their families face when a loved one gets into difficulty. The Thai police have a reputation of not investigating things properly, of allowing evidence to be destroyed, allowing false evidence to be presented, and there comes across as being a very uncaring attitude from the mayor and the police. So I thought that this was a good interview to include within the documentary. Well, thank you very much for watching till the very end of this part. And if you have found it at all informative, again, please press like, please share with your friends on social media. And I look forward to your company in the subsequent parts. And if you've not already looked at them, there are previous parts to this series on my reaction to the documentary Murder in Paradise. In the meantime, please stay safe.